In today's video, we're going to look at how to make Minecraft axolotls for crochet. These guys are very cute and they don't take that long to make. So let's get into it. What you're going to need for this pattern are 3 different colors, a dark purple or a black for the eyes, a dark pink for the gills, tail, feet, and a light pink for the body. The tools we need are a 5mm crochet hook and a sewing needle and scissors. So let's get into the pattern. Using light pink yarn, we're going to kind of double up the yarn for a bit, and we're going to start off with 4 chains. So if you loop on the yarn like this to your hook, this counts as the first chain. So we would do 3 more chains. 1, 2, 3, and that's a total of 4 chains. So now we're going to drop our extra yarn and do 2 more chains. 1, 2, and we're going to tighten the last chain we did by pulling on the back of our loop. So now we basically have 4 chains and an extra piece of yarn that gets us up to our next round. So for the next round, this is somewhat of a partial round. We're going to do 4 single crochets, 1 in each of the double chain loops. So in the first one, single crochet, next one, oops, put a little extra there, single crochet, 3rd single crochet, and 4th single crochet. So at this point we need to chain 1 and then tighten that chain, and that gets us up to the next round, round 3. So this round is the most complicated of the whole pattern, so we'll do it slow. In this top part of the chain that we just did, we're going to do a half double and a single crochet into this space right there. So in that space, oops, we need to do a half double. So half double and then a single crochet into that same space. And then in the chain below the single crochet that we just stitched in this loop right here, we need to do a half double crochet and a single crochet again. So half double and then a single crochet. And then in the next 2 chains, we just do 1 single crochet each. And then in this last chain, we're going to do a corner series, which consists of a single crochet, if I can get my hook in there, in the same stitch a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. And then into the first single crochet from the partial round we did, into this stitch, we are going to do a half double and a single crochet. So, oops, half double, and then a single. Then in the next 3 crochets we just do 1 regular single crochet each. Okay, to finish this round we're going to do a slip stitch into the first stitch of the round to close it off, and then a chain to get up so that we can start the second round. For this particular round we're going to do the slip stitch in pink, but then the chain up in purple. So we'll pull some purple through, and we'll tie the pink to the purple. Oops, I lost my hook. There we go. So we won't cut anything yet. For this next round, the first stitch, which is going to be into this single crochet from the round below, is just going to be a single crochet in purple. So single crochet in purple, but since the next stitch is going to be pink, we're going to finish this stitch off with an invisible color change, which means the last loop we pull through is the color of the next stitch. So there we go. 1 single crochet in purple, and then in the next stitch we're going to do a corner series, which again is a single crochet, half double crochet, and then a single crochet. And then the next 4 stitches we'll just do 1 single crochet each. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the corner, a corner series. So that's single, half double, single. But to finish off the single, we're about to do purple, so we're going to finish off that single by pulling through in purple. Oops. There we go. Pulled through in purple, and then we do our next stitch, a single crochet with the purple. And we're about to do pink, so we're going to pull through, finish off that stitch with pink. And there we go, we just finished our purple single crochet. In the next stitch, we do a corner series. And then in the next 4 stitches, just regular single crochets. And then in this last corner, we're going to do a corner series. Single, half double, single. So now we are about to join rounds here. This purple stitch was the first stitch in this round. We're at the last stitch, so we're about to join them. So we are going to do a slip stitch to join, and then unlike from in the previous round where we did the chain up in purple, we are just going to do the chain up in pink this time, and then tighten. So now we finished basically the front of the face. I'll grab one of these for comparison. We finished the front of the face, and now to make this corner that is the face, we're going to do a round of single crochet back posts. That kind of gives us this corner here. So normally when you're doing a single crochet back post, you're going to stick your needle right underneath from back to front in the hole right underneath the stitch on your hook. And then on the stitch left to it, you stick your needle from front to back. And then we pull through in the yarn we're using. In this case, we're using purple, so we pull through in purple. And then we have 2 loops on our hook. And then to finish off, we pull through, in this case, in pink. And there we go. We'll tighten the purple a little bit. But there we go. We just did 1 single crochet back post. The next one is in pink, so this will be a little easier to demonstrate the stitch. So we're going to put our hook right into the next space, which is, see, our post is kind of in the purple stitch, so the space underneath is right next to the purple stitch. So we go back to front, poke from front to back, in the stitch right to the left of that, pull the yarn through, and then yarn over and pull through. So we did 1 purple, 1 pink. We need to do 10 more single crochet back posts in pink. Okay, so kind of like this side, we're about to do a partial single crochet back post in purple. If this was a regular invisible color change, I would pull through in purple right now, but this one's kind of special. We aren't going to do an invisible color change into the purple stitch, but we are going to do an invisible color change out of the purple stitch. So we just finished the last stitch before it totally in pink. We're going to pull through purple and then finish off in pink. And we'll kind of tighten the purple slightly, and then we'll do the next 10 stitches in pink. I'm going to do 1 for now, and then I'm going to, because we're done with the purple, I'm going to cut the purple, and I'm just going to lightly tie the purple onto some loose yarn on the back, just so it doesn't come unraveled. And you see how I have not been cutting and tying the purple after each color change. It's kind of been loosely letting it pull behind the work. This is okay as long as your loops, or your loose yarn here is not too tight and then it pulls the face together. You don't want that. You want the face to still be able to be flat. So let's continue on. We did 1 single crochet back post in pink, and then we have 9 more to do. And 9. So to finish this round, just like the other rounds, we're going to slip stitch into the top of the first stitch from the round, and then we're going to chain up and tighten that chain. So there we go. So now that we've finished with the front of the face and the corner from the top of the head to the front of the face, we are going to do 3 regular rows of all single crochets. This is going to be 22 single crochets per row. 22. And for these rows, just like the other rows, we're going to slip stitch, chain, and tighten. So there we go. 1 row so far of 3 rows. 2 more rows. (22), and we will join this 3rd row the same way as all the others, except now we're going to cut the yarn and pull the yarn through, tighten that chain even more. So we just finished the flat part of the face. So now what we need to do is, if you notice, the head is a little bit thicker than the body. We need to decrease, kind of at a corner to the back side of the head that lowers the elevation of the head to be a little slimmer for the body. So what we're going to do to make that happen is we're going to look at the knot we just tied, starting at the next crochet. We're going to count 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then in this 9th one, we're going to put our hook in here, and we're going to take some pink yarn, same color as before, pull it through, and tie a knot. And we'll just double check that this is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, it's 9. And then from here, we're going to do what I call a stitch 3 single crochet back posts together stitch. So to do that, we'll put a loop on our hook to just be the starting loop. And right underneath the knot you tied, we're going to do 1 single crochet back post, except before we pull through, we're going to add 2 more stitches on our hook. The next one's going to be a half double single crochet back post, which is the same as a regular single crochet back post, except you get an extra loop on your hook before you do it. So to do that, you stick through the space you just pulled from, and then back into the next space to pull yarn through. But again, don't pull it all the way through. And then, so you see, so far we've gone around 2 posts. We need to go around this next post with for regular single crochet back posts. And there you go. We have 3 posts on our hook, and we will take 1 loop and pull it through all of them. So that was a stitch 3 single crochet back post together stitch. We're now going to do 4 regular single crochet back posts. And then we're going to do another stitch 3 single crochet back post stitch. So again, that's a single crochet back post, half double single crochet back post, and single crochet back post, all collected on your hook. Pull 1 loop through all 3. So now what we're going to do is do a slip stitch into this next stitch, and then we're going to chain and tighten. So this, what we just did, was essentially a partial round of what we just did. And now what I did was technically a row join where I did a slip stitch and a chain. So now we're going to treat this as the beginning of the next row. So what we're going to do is we're going to do, for this next row, 11 single crochets to start. So 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, we've run into the knot that we tied from a few rounds ago. We just crocheted into the top of that slip stitch that this knot follows. We are not going to crochet into the stitch that the knot is actually in. We're going to go into the next one. So that will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now that we did 11, in this next stitch we're going to do an increase. So 2 stitches, 2 single crochets in 1 stitch to make an increase. And now you see we've run into our partial row. In each post of the partial row we're going to do a single crochet front post, which is very similar to a back post, but instead of coming from the back to the front, let me demonstrate that, like coming from the back and then going out to the front, or through the front, we are not going to do that. Instead, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to go into the front, push through the back, and then yarn over. But the rest is all the same. So we're going to do that around all of these posts. So first front post is going to be around this big post when we stitched 3 stitches together. You know, in through the front, out from the back, pull the yarn through, yarn over. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we finished that. You can kind of see the corner of the head, the upper corner of the head forming. And the last stitch in this round into this last loop is just going to be a regular single crochet. And then we join with a slip stitch into that first stitch of the round, chain, and tighten. So now the easy part starts. We're going to do a row of all single crochets. It should be 20 single crochets per row. Okay, we just finished a row of all single crochets, join together, chain and tighten, and we're going to repeat that 8 more times, and that will form the body. So you can kind of see it more clearly now. You see the head is thick, the body is a little bit thinner, just like this axolotl body. So do 8 more rounds of just 20 regular single crochets each. I've already, to make the video go faster, I've already crocheted those rounds in this other pattern, and I finished after the slip stitch and chain to get up to the next round. So to start closing off the body, to make this part, we're going to do some more single crochet back posts. We're going to start off with 1 single crochet back post, and since this is cut, I'm actually going to tie on some more yarn right here, but you guys can just continue using the same yarn you've been using. So there we go, we finished 1 single crochet back post. We're going to stitch 3 single crochet back posts together. So to do that, we're going to do single crochet back post on the hook without pulling it through, half double single crochet back post, and then single crochet back post regular, yarn over, pull through all three. We're going to repeat that in the next three, so we're going to stitch three more together. So one, a half double, and then one, yarn through all of them. And now we're going to do 4 regular single crochet back posts. And now again, we're going to stitch 3 single crochet back posts together. And we'll do it again. 3 more single crochet back posts together. And then we're going to do 3 regular back posts around the 3 remaining posts in the round. And then we'll slip stitch into the first stitch of the round and chain and tighten. So you can see the back body, we're kind of forcing it to be a rectangle shape by putting the corners close together. You can see the shape of the axolotl really coming together at this point. At this point we're going to stuff the axolotl's body with some polyfill. So I grab some polyfill, and you could also stuff around earlier. Might be a little easier to get it all in there. So we'll stuff that in to the face. You don't want to overstuff them. You don't want them to be too bulgy. Okay, that looks about good to me. So we're going to continue on with the next round. The next round we're going to stitch. The next round we're going to stitch 3 single crochets together, just 3 regular single crochets. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through, and then we're going to do 3 individual single crochets. 1, 2, 3. We'll stitch 3 single crochets together. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through, and then 3 regular individual single crochets. 2, 3. We'll slip stitch, chain, tighten, and at this point we can cut the yarn, leaving a tail for sewing. Pull this loop through, and then we'll thread the needle with this yarn. And we're going to sew this opening closed. We'll just kind of sew it So this is all one slit basically. And then we can just tie a loop to make a knot. And then hide the tail and cut it. There we go. Now we've basically finished the stitching in the bodies. What we're going to do to make sure the axolotl maintains his nice even shape is we're actually going to take some yarn and we're going to, from his spine to his stomach, do a bunch of stitches with our thread, basically, kind of in a bunch of V shapes through the body to kind of pull this section together. And we'll thread it through, kind of starting from the middle of the body. We'll go up through. There we go. Kind of through this section right at the back of the head. We'll pull it through so it's almost all the way pulled through, but we will keep a little tail here and we'll make a knot. Pull it through, tie a knot. There we go. So now, just going down one row at a time. Don't do any big, don't skip a bunch of stitches before you go in, because then you'll have a very obvious, just loose piece on your work. So just go one stitch at a time and go down from the spine to the belly. And we're going to only pretty loosely pull it. And then we'll go up another stitch, come up, and there we go, pulled a little tightly, or only a little tight. And then we're going to repeat this across the rest of the rows in the body. And now that we're at the end, you can kind of see the body is a little more distinct than it was before. We're going to tie off gently. And then we are going to hide the yarn. You can kind of faintly see an indent on the back, but this just helps keep him nicely shaped. So now the next piece we'll work on is the tail and the spine, basically. So to do that, we're going to switch to our dark pink. In dark pink, we're going to do a magic circle, And in that magic circle, we'll do 6 single crochets. We'll pull tightly to close the circle, and then into the first single crochet, which is always a little hard to get into, we're going to slip stitch and chain, just like a regular round join. So now we're going to do 2 rows of 6 single crochets each. In the next round, we're going to do an increase. We're going to do stitch 3 single crochets all into the same stitch. So basically an increase 3 all in one stitch. So 1, 2, 3 all in that same stitch. And then we'll do 5 more single crochets regular around the round. We'll join, chain, and now we'll do 2 rounds of 8 single crochets. Okay, now that we've finished that, we're going to do, again, increase 3 into this first stitch. And then we're going to do 7 single crochets to finish the round. Slip stitch and chain. And I'm going to cut this center yarn. So now we're going to do 4 rows of 10 single crochets each. So now that we did that, we're going to, in the next round, do 8 single crochets. And now we're going to pause. You see we have 2 stitches left with nothing in them. We are actually going to drop our hook out of here, and we will cut this. What we're going to do then is we're going to stick our hook into the next stitch, the 9th stitch, and we're going to pull a long section of doubled up yarn through this, and we will actually cut this. So in the middle of this doubled up section, we're going to pull that loop through the 9th stitch, and we'll do 10 doubled up chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we'll pull one of these through the 10th chain, and very gently, making sure that this 10th chain stays open. Actually, let's stick our hook in here while we're tying to make sure it does stay open. We will shorten these a bit and knot them. There we go. We'll pull the hook out. There we go. We have 10 chains. You might see, kind of understand where this is going. This tail is going to be flattened, and this is going to be part of this section of the tail. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick back up into the 8th stitch of the round, the one that we had cut, and we're going to, into the single crochet, or into the chains, we're going to do 1 single crochet each. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and I'm actually going to use this opportunity to tie back on the yarn because we had cut it. So that's 2, and then we'll do the rest. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. We've stitched up one side, and then we need to stitch back down the spine into those same chains, but back down the other side. So we'll do another single crochet into this chain that we just did, the first of our 10, and then in this next chain, back 1, we're also going to do, we're going to do the 2nd single crochet, 3rd, 4, 9, 10. So we finished the chains on the single crochets on here. We still have 1 stitch left from the original row, this last stitch, and we'll do a single crochet into here. And then we'll join with a slip stitch and a chain that we tighten. And then we're actually going to leave quite a long tail for sewing. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to flatten this tail so that this protrusion is at the top. We'll flatten the tail, and we're going to take the long end and we're going to sew it through here to keep it flat. So kind of like before, 1 stitch at a time. We're going to go kind of stitch this back part together. So we're going to stitch through here, not right on the edge, but kind of close to the edge, and then we'll come back here, and we'll catch up back when I'm at this point. So we're at the point where the tail is done, but we need to do the spine. What we're going to do is kind of force the ends of the single crochet down towards where the body's going to be, and then this part up. And we're going to go through from underneath, and we'll go through the top of the stitch, and then into the top of the stitch of the adjacent stitch. We'll pull that through, and then we're going to do the same thing but the next stitch up. So we'll go in this way, in this way, pull through. And you can kind of see what's happening here. We're basically pulling the two sides together to flatten out this part so that it's not wide, it's kind of thin, just like the tail. So we'll keep doing that all the way up the spine. There we go. You can kind of see at the bottom all of the tops of the stitches are now pointing down, and now this is as thin as the rest of the tail. So now we're going to sew this onto the body. So we're going to kind of loop around the closest stitches we can to the head. And then we'll basically just sew it in place. And there we go. We have the tail centered in the body. So now what's left to do is we need to add some feet for the guy and some gills. To do the feet, we're going to get some dark yarn, and in the four corners of the body, use this guy for an example, in the four corners of the body, basically one row away from the edge. So in this case, one row from the back side, basically one row from the head, we're going to do a leg. In each leg, we're going to stick our hook through a post, and we're going to take about a 2-foot section of yarn, doubled up, so it's about 1 foot long total. We'll take that and we will pull a loop through and do 1 single crochet, doubled up. We'll do 2 more single crochets, doubled, 1, 2, so that's 3 total. We're going to drop 1/2, and we're going to do 3. We're going to first do 2 chains, tighten, and then we're going to do 3 single crochets all into that doubled up loop. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to pull through, tighten, and then in this large hole in the middle of the foot, we're going to stick our hook, pull through the end that we just created, and then we're going to tie that to the other loose end. And that kind of forces the foot to have a circle shape at the end of the foot. So now with these two loose ends, I'm going to cut them to be the same length. We're going to then thread our needle, thread both of them through our needle, and then we're going to kind of weave back down through the foot with the needle, or through the leg with the needle, and then into the body and kind of out through a random area. And we're going to pull those two strands of yarn through. It's kind of tough. Pull it through and out through the body. Basically, we're just hiding the strands of yarn. We don't want loose ends here, so we're pulling it back through the leg into the body so we have somewhere to go with it. Cut it off. So then we're going to repeat to put on 4 legs. So I went and I added the 3 other legs, and now we're done with the legs. The second to last part is the antenna. We have to make 6 of these gills, basically. So to make a gill, unlike the legs, we're not going to start it attached to the body. We're going to start it kind of loose. So we'll take about 2 feet-ish, again, of yarn and start by doing 5 doubled up single crochets. So we'll do 5 doubled up chains. So we'll do the first chain like this. That counts as our first chain. And then we do second, third, fourth, fifth. And then at this point, we're going to drop one of our strands, pull the other all the way through, and then while we're holding both the body, or both the gill and both ends, we're going to pull both ends gently. Basically, just until it kind of closes. We're not going to tie any additional knots. So do 5 more of these. I already did 5 more, so here is all 6. To sew it onto the head, we are going to do a little bit of a special way. We're going to thread one of the loose ends. We're going to put these first 2 kind of on either side of the kind of the middle top of the head, basically clearing the gills, but we'll put them basically right here. Let me grab this guy for reference. Put them right here. So we'll choose which post we want to sew around. I think I'm going to choose this post to go around for that first gill. So we're going to pull one of the yarn through this way, and then we'll drop it and we'll thread the other end. And then what we're going to do is go through the same post, but we're going to go the opposite direction. We'll go through this way and we'll pull it tight. And that will get this gill to stand up. And now all we do at this point is we knot it, and then we hide the ends through the body. There we go, we've got one. So we'll put another one mirrored on the other side of the head. And then we're going to do 2 more on the corners, 1 on each corner, and then 1 on the side of the head, kind of close to the legs, not quite there, and not in the same row, 1 row offset. So we'll also on the next 5 and come back. So now this guy has all 6 of his gills. The only thing left to do at this point is to add the little mouth. What we're going to do is we're going to start the mouth by going around these 3 stitches, basically almost at eye level, a little bit below these 3 stitches that are in front of the needle. But we're not going to thread in through here. We're actually going to kind of hide that a little bit and thread in from underneath so that we don't have any knots that we have to tie at the mouth itself. So we have our first yarn coming through here, and we'll stitch 1 stripe across, another stripe across, and a 3rd stripe across, and we'll go straight kind of back to the exact same stitch that this pink yarn started in. So we'll pull this through. There we go. Make sure the mouth looks good. Tighten it just a little bit, not too much that it pinches together. And now we'll tie the 2 ends here a little bit just to hide it from the surface of the axolotl, and then tie it again, and then we'll hide them. We'll hide the knot by kind of pulling it into the body a little bit. And we'll hide this last piece of yarn too. There we go. So mouth looks good, gills look good, and now we're done. I hope this pattern works out for you. Please leave a comment, let me know how it turns out. These guys are relatively quick and pretty cute, pretty small. They could be used as a keychain, they could be gifts to friends, whatever you want to use them for. Quite adorable. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.